Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into GarageBand Weekly for another week. This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at artificial intelligence because no one else is talking about it, you see. We're going to tell if a large language model, if ChatGPT, if Google's AI search can actually help me find information about using GarageBand. Or should we still have people like me and Patrick and other GarageBand creators? We'll talk about that on the show. We got some news and notes for you as well, and we are interactive. So if you have any questions, you know what to do. If you don't know what to do, maybe you're new. Hey, I'm sounding like not Roald Dahl. Who's the guy? Dr. Seuss. If you don't know what to do, you put a big Q in front of your question and I'll answer it too, just for you. How does that sound? Oh, no, I missed it. Well, what could the last rhyme be? How does that do? Yeah, I'm in one of those moods. It's one of those days, and we are going to dive in to the news and notes. But firstly, let's just say g'day to a few fine folks who have jumped in here early onto the live stream to say hello. We've got Mr. Mark Bro, we've got Joel Crouch here. G'day to Thomas Christ. Sorry, my clicking's not clicking that much. I'll be sitting back and checking this out as usual and making dinner. Yeah, this is good dinner, good background dinner video for you. G'day, Emperism. Good to see you, my friend Eric B. Einsteino Foxo. Hello to you. Oh. And anyone else who's just joining us, just strolling on in, we've got Les Corox, we've got Scott Kid 64, we've got Fat Panda Cat. Happy St. Paddy's Day to all of you who celebrate, because it is St. Patrick's Day in the Northern Hemisphere or the time zones where it's still Monday. It's Tuesday morning here in good old Australia. Yes, I'm rocking my tool. I'm in the tool kind of mood. Some may say that I'm always in a Tool kind of mood, but they would be mean and inappropriate. Yes, Tool are one of my favourite bands of all time. Should we talk about the news and notes? Because there's a bit. It's not setting the world on fire. We're basically kicking back here, waiting on the middle of the year where we get things like WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference, where Apple will once again tell us all about how Apple Intelligence is going to change the world and then deliver less, not nothing, but less, to be fair. We will talk about that. But the biggest news is that we've got an iPad OS and an iOS update. So this is a security update. There's no new features. There's nothing new to see here. But if you're already on 18, update to this one. And in fact, to show you that I'm a person of my word, I'm going to come in here. That's the wrong button, Pete. I'm going to come in here and hit the update now button. So you can see here it's an 800 megabyte. A .0.1 update is an 800 megabyte file. And we wonder why our networks are jammed all the time and we can't ever get anything done. I tells you. So I'm going to update that now. I'll punch in my passcode, but I'll do that off screen. Not that you can actually see it from there, but I'll punch in my passcode and that'll go off and download and then be ready to install. And hopefully by the end of the show, I'll have it installed and we can prove that it's all good. The same thing applies to that I tell you all the time here, which is if you're on 17 and you're in the middle of a big project, you're still on 17.7, don't do the whole big update to 18 until that big project is done. 17 is still secure. That's the good news. But 18.3.1 is the one that has the security, what they call a 0-day security risk. Now, the chances of you as a regular user having this problem, well, what do you have to do? You have to be using WebKit, which is every web browser. It's like Safari. You have to go to one of these nefarious pages, and the problem is that you can click a button or tap a button, and while iOS and iPadOS usually protects you from these exploits and hacks, then at the moment there is a hole in the wall, and unless you update to 18.3.2, you won't be able to jam your finger in the hole in the wall. So that's the worst analogy I ever heard. Let's say good day to a couple other folks, then we'll get to our next one. Hello to Hassam Al-Dod. G'day to you. Hello to Al Davis as well. And as I always forget to do, and Thomas is reminding me, you can also check out my GarageBand FAQ. So if you go on over to studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand, you'll find a very 10 years ago looking website, but it's not about how it looks, it's what it has. And it has links to all of my GarageBand tutorial video series. It has links to the wonderful communities where you can chat about GarageBand. And it has my guide to how to do things in GarageBand, including links to videos that actually tell you how to do it. And we'll be comparing that to what you could get without me. What happens if you just use AI instead to try and get that information? We'll see how we go. Let us continue. So yeah, there's new Mac OS 2 and iPad OS and iOS. So all of those have that same bug because they all use the same WebKit. Hooray! So if you're on 18, update to 18.3.2 now. There's been no reports of any major concerns at this point in time. The next item on the agenda, the iPhone 16e kind of was announced, and then it came, and then it went, and yeah. So if you've been seeing these reviews, and look, I don't like the YouTube reviews with all the clickbait where they're just like Apple's worst phone ever. Is it Apple's worst phone ever? No, of course it's not. But is it very different from the strategy with the iPhone SE, which was basically a cut down version of the iPhone? Like the iPhone SE, the SE2 and the SE3 are still great phones. I use mine as my second phone. Why do you have a second phone, Pete? I do a lot of video work on this phone, and if this is rendering a 4K video and it's taking 20 minutes to do so, I need a second phone to be able to continue, living and working. And because I'm a mobile creator, I do lots of walking around. That's why I do. So yeah, there you go. Don't know why I needed to justify that, but a lot of people just look at me like I'm weird when I'm carrying two phones in my pocket. And yeah, it's for that. It's for that exact reason. I can do two things at once and sort of semi-multitask. What was my point? Yeah, so the 16e, if you missed the news on this one, instead of having an iPhone SE version 4, they decided that they would make it a 16e. And the idea here, and it kind of relates into the next topic, which is what iPhone 17 is going to do. The idea that people think here is that the E, because the SE didn't come out every year with the iPhone, and people are like, well, next year, what will the situation be? But what you'd probably be aware of is that Apple usually keep 2 generations behind in their lineup. So at the moment, it's the 16, but you can also get the 15 and even the 14. If you want the 13 or earlier, you have to buy it through other retailers. Apple do not stock it. So what the idea here is that the 16e is going to sit there and kind of go down. So when the 17 comes out, the 16e will still be there, as well as the 16 and the 15. When the 18 comes out, then it'll be on its sort of last leg. So the 18 will be out, and the 17 and 16e will still be available. And then by the time the 19 comes out, a 19e will come out at the same time. So the idea here is that Apple are going to move to like a 3-year cycle where they have their flagship, then they have last year's, and then the year before's. And wherever that E sits will be in there. The other thing that people that people are speculating on is whether we'll see something that may or may not be called an iPhone Air. So Apple have done this in the past where they've changed up their different branding and naming of things. We had the plus sized models. We had the Pros, obviously. What was the iPhone 6s? They used to call the big one something different, Max or something. I don't know. They have all these different naming things. But Air is something that they're now using with the MacBook. They're of course using it with the iPad. And the speculation is there's going to be an iPhone Air that's going to be like super thin, and it's going to be focused on form over function, which I know many in the creator community absolutely love it, where they remove ports and cram in more things, yet remove our ability to do functionality. So it probably won't be for us. We'll still be wanting to get the vanillas or the Pro models of phones, but yeah, would you be interested in that? I don't know. Do you want a Razr thin? I mean, I did love my Razr. My Motorola Razr back in the day was kind of the bomb diggity. So maybe that would be a thing. My iPad is rebooting. Yeah, it won't show me because it's not connected. Trust me that I'm looking at an Apple logo with a little line going across. So we'll time it. What are we? It's 10 minutes in. We'll see when my iPad comes back to life. 2 phones is like a beeper back in the day. Doctor or drug dealer only. There you go. Yeah, when I start swapping SIM codes. See, you're so 2018, Fat Panda Cat. It's all about eSIMs now. You can just burn them and churn them. No, I don't think drug dealers would use eSIMs because they they don't want to be traced at all. They would want to be buying those off the shelf ones from the store. Yeah, where are we going to get to? The iPhone 111,000. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, what are our kids going to be doing in 2080? Is it going to be the iPhone 62? Does it make sense to just keep adding numbers to it? iPhone Max Plus Ultra Pro Air SE. in in what is it? The red Project Red. Side note, sorry, if it's your first time tuning into GarageBand Weekly, tangents, baby. We go off on tangents till the cows come home. Speaking of cows, no, where is Semtech's cow? I want to say moo. What was my point? See, I distracted myself out of the point that I had, and I'm not going to remember what it was now. So we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm gonna have to rewind the show and go back and see what point I was going to make there, because I distracted myself with cows. Oh yes, Project. Got back to it. Project Red. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's been slowly removed. I used to buy the Project Red stuff. I had a red iPhone back in the day. The last iPod Touch I bought, which was the last iPod Touch ever made, I bought in the Project Red. And if you don't know, the Project Red was it was sort of related to Bono and U2 and their charity, and it was like to portions of it went to charity to help feed hungry people in the world or something like that. I should know more about it. But yeah, there hasn't been a Project Red device released in the last 4 years, which is sad because I liked the idea of a bit of that going back into the world. But yeah, folding phones. You reckon? You reckon folding phones? I don't know. Oh, the iPad's ready. 2 minutes. That was quick. The iPad is good to go, apparently. I always thought it was weird that iPads, Macs, MacBooks had separate naming convention to the phones. Yeah, it is a bit weird. Um, and I think I don't know, every time I think things are getting uniform, they go off and add a different thing. Like they go Max and then they go to Ultra on the Max, and then I don't know. And like the watch, we have the Ultra watch now, but we don't have a Pro watch, and we don't have an Ultra phone or iPad. So. hmm. I don't know. You have to know when to hold them and know when to fold 'em. Yeah, don't try folding your brick phones. It's gonna go badly. Do you remember tangent. Remember the 90s when phones just kept getting smaller? Like the Nokias started out as a 5110. And then you got the 3210, which was kind of my favorite, the sweet spot there. And then you had like the 6330s and stuff. And then you had like the 800 series, like the 8000 series, sorry, like the 8210. And then there was one that I think it was the 8810. I'm going to look it up here now. Was it 8810 or 8850? It was this tiny little teeny. No, it wasn't that one. It might have been the 8810. It was this tiniest of tiny phone. It was one of these, but they kept getting smaller until they didn't. And so the screens and the buttons and everything kept getting smaller, and phones. Like the joke was back then that by the future, people would be pulling out their phones. Oh, that's the wrong button. People would be pulling out their phones and it would be like, hello, hello. But no, they then got bigger and bigger, and now that's your phone. And it's heavy as balls too. Oh, I still have my Motorola Razr to come. Oh, those old school Bluetooth earpieces worked really well, didn't they, Joel? Yeah, they were great. Never a problem connecting or dropping out at all. Then again, Bluetooth is still that. Oh boy, yeah, you're gonna open the wound of the free U2 album. The Pebble, yes, the Pebble was another small device. I remember when everyone wanted the Matrix. Oh, yeah, they were like gold dust. What was that one? That was the 7 series, wasn't it? But if I put Nokia Matrix phone, it'll come in. Yeah, that was the 8110 with the banana. A mate of mine had one actually, and if he hung on to it, it would be worth a lot. But yeah, they were the ones where you went chunk and the bottom flew out at you. So instead of you having to manually slide it like a cave person, you could just press the button and it would go chunk and it would flick down. There, yeah. Nokia 8110, the Matrix phone. Yeah. Memories. Thor's hammer is just 15 Nokia 3310s glued together. Yeah, the 3310 and the 3210. Those things were amazing. Yep. Yeah, they really were, and you could. I found the limitations though. I destroyed a 3210 once by taking it to a nightclub that was having a what was it, a foam party. So yeah, I was really smart as an early 20s person. I was in this nightclub. I don't know why I don't like nightclubs. It was one of the few times I'd ever been to one, and it just happened to be foam party night. So I'm just like, yeah, I'd had a few beverages, a few cocktails, and was like, yeah, I'll dance around in the phone. Just because my jeans and my shirt and everything is soaked, I'm sure my phone will recover. Next morning, no. No phone, no phone. Had to go straight to the phone store and upgrade to a new phone. What did I go to after that? I think that's when I first went to the 6210 from the 32. I went to the 6 series. Anyway, memories like the corner of my mind. All right, we've got an update here. And just so that you know that I'm not leading you down the garden path, here's my iPad. Back at it. Let's fire up GarageBand and make sure it's going to work. It all looks good and good. There you go. Good in the hood. Hello to Jade Star. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you as always. Um, yes. Yeah. Speaking of let's just jump to that. Since Jade mentioned it. So Jade and Brad are on today's community Pulse show, which I can't find. I am dumping you over there after this show, but if you want to get yourself set up and ready to rock and roll, I will drop you a link here now. So look at that. We've already got 20 likes. They like you. They really like you. Let's paste that in there. So set yourself up and jump over to the community polls. That's starting in 57 minutes. So you'll have a bit of time for a cup of tea and a lie down, and then you can jump back and check out the community pulse with Jade and Brad. And speaking of Jade and Brad and Thomas and myself, in a week's time, next week, for our happy hour. Now, I'm kind of stoked because it's actually the 5-year anniversary of the happy hour. So here is the show that I'll be doing. So for the celebration, originally I was gonna like get Jade and Tom and Brad and me, and we're all gonna do like one long stream together. And then I'm like, no, the spirit of the happy hour is that everyone gets a little bite of the cherry. So everyone's gonna be streaming on their own channels as we always do. So you know where to find people, and we don't mix up any of the times and slots and things. However, before Thomas Christ, so before Thomas goes live, I'll be jumping on for 30 minutes, just half an hour, and just having a little chat and setting up for the 4 live streams that will then take place. So we'll then do the usual, which is Thomas Christ Live, Jade Star's opening hour, the happy hour, and then I'm assuming Brad's still doing an after party as well. So yes, the 5th happy versary is it. So you can also jump in there. Let's give you a link to that. I'm giving you lots of homework today, aren't I? Yeah, I'll throw a link to this one in the chat. And while you're getting all these set up, also don't forget to tickle the like button, because why? Well, because that tells hopefully I'm not too annoying with my whole hit the like button and my like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. The amount of videos that I watch on YouTube where they're like, my analytics tell me that only less than, what do they say? Like 74% of you watching this aren't subscribed. And it's like, yeah, that's because sometimes people just want to get to a channel and get the answer to their question and then leave without being inundated with notifications about other things that they're not going to be interested in. So, yeah, there's that. Brad going live here, very cool. Yeah, I wasn't. I thought that was the case, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say stuff out of term. So that'll be be a fun day. It'll be Thomas, it'll be Jade, it'll be me, it'll be Brad, and we'll all be doing our 1-hour sets and go on bounce to bounce to bounce to bounce. But to kick everything off and to make sure that everyone can follow the leader, I'll be doing just a little half an hour, just talking about the history of the happy hour, why I started doing it, which is basically there was a global pandemic. See, I can say the words global pandemic now. There was a time there when I first started the happy hour, we had words. Jay called it the inconvenience. I think I called it the situation, the C word, because, yeah, there was so much disinformation and misinformation going around that if you just said the words COVID or pandemic, don't you mean plandemic? Then yeah, people would get their knickers in a twist. And by people, I mean YouTube would either demonetize you or put that little flag underneath your video that said, "The COVID is a disease that some people think was real and some don't." It's like, no. Thankfully, in 2025, we don't have any misinformation. No one's telling lies. Nothing bad is happening in the world. Everything is cool, calm, and happy times. And pause for editing, and let's continue on. Did we get through all the news and notes? Oh, the final thing. I wanted to talk about the buying a Mac or buying an iPad right now. I think it's actually, I was listening to Jason Snell, who's a very smart dude. He's on a show called MacBreak Weekly, which is obviously very related to this show. If you watch this show, you might watch MacBreak Weekly as well. And he was talking about how it's gone from being really easy to recommend what people should buy to really hard with all the different models of Macs and iPads and iPhones. And now it's back to really easy. And I'd agree with this because basically, if you're buying a Mac right now, if you want a desktop, you buy the Mac Mini. It's M4, it's super powerful, it's what 90% of people will need. Yes, now 10% might need a studio or they might need a Pro. But yeah, if you buy a desktop Mac, the Mac Mini is just gold, like $600, about 800, 900 by the time you spec it up a bit, you're in. MacBook, it's an Air. Now that the MacBook Air has M4 and has a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM, it's the Air. So if someone wants to buy a MacBook, 90% of people, it'll be the Air. Again, the 10% that need the Pro know that they're a Pro and know that they need the Pro. But if someone comes to you and says, "What MacBook do I buy?" It's the Air right now. And with iPad, it's the Air 2, or in this case, the Air 3. It's the Air with M3 because that's just the best sweet spot right now. If you're an absolute pro and you've got the budget, go for a pro. If you're just getting started or you're not heavily into recording and video and stuff, you get a regular vanilla iPad because those are specced up very nicely now as well. So it is kind of getting, even though there's more range now, it's kind of getting easier because it really is. It makes sense. If you need the pro stuff, you get the pro. For everyone else in between that wants a bit of a combination of both, you get the Air. And if you want just the vanilla entry level for your iPad, you get the iPad, which is still pretty good value. So I'm hoping that this continues. I pray that we don't have some other thing, some other curveball thrown our way that'll be different. So yeah, my nose was growing. Yeah, am I telling lies? No, never. So the thing is, I'm painfully honest. I'm detrimentally honest. There have been times in the last 9 years of my YouTube career where I could have fabricated, I could have stretched the truth, I could have said things that are going to be controversial or that are going to be aggressive or are going to create drama, but I don't. Because A, I don't want to. It's not how I roll. And B, it's disingenuous. And people have very good bullshit detectors these days. And they're getting better. For everyone out there that is being, I think, that is being deceived by a lot of things that are going on, I think that there is a lot of people who the penny is starting to drop. And they're starting to realize that actually, no. I do need to. I was talking to my folks last night, my mum and dad, and look, technology stuff and things that are going on in the media are confusing for everyone. And I basically said it's kind of sad now because it used to be that you'd have to 80% of what you read or saw, like forever you've had to take everything you read and everything you see on the news with a grain of salt, right? It's always going to be slightly sensationalized for ratings and for clicks and for eyeballs and for subscriptions, but it's now at the point where I reckon there's 5% of actual relevant truth, especially on the internet. Like there seems to be, and maybe that's an exaggeration, but it seems like 95% of the stuff just sets off my bullshit detector immediately. And I'm like, yeah, except that's not true. Well, yeah, except that's not the fact, or that's been debunked, or that's been proven wrong previously. And here's the evidence. And Yeah, I think it's just gonna be for me as a father of my children, I am spending a lot of time with them on how to be a savvy consumer of information. Because look, people say you shouldn't let your children on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. It's all filthy, it's all wrong. And I'm like, to the contrary, I think if you manage it effectively and you know what they're watching and like my children, I don't not let them, but when they're watching stuff, I'm like, "Don't have your headphones on. I wanna hear what you're going." And then I'm like, "Why is that teenager screaming at you?" "Oh, they're really unhappy about the situation in blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Okay, cool. What do you think of that? Do you think they're right?" And so just getting that critical thinking skill and that muscle kinda built up, I think is important. Question from Mark Bro: why don't they split the chip in the middle for MacBooks? It would make more sense to have an M4 and an M4 Pro in the Air and the M4 Mac and Ultra for the MacBook Pro, wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah. So I think from what I've read, the reason that the Air doesn't have a Pro option and it's the MacBook Pro that has the Pro Max Ultra options, it all comes down to heat dissipation. So the MacBook Air is passively cooled, meaning it doesn't have a fan at all. So I think from what I've read and what I've seen, I think that's the main cause that, and it's the same with the Mac Mini. With the Mac Mini, they've got a little bit more cooling. It does actually have a fan, but not a bigger fan. The Mac Studio has a bigger fan, which is why it can have the Max and the Ultra. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of weird that the Mini has the M4 and the M4 Pro, and the Studio has the Max and the Ultra. And then when you go to MacBooks, the Air only has the M4. But I think from everything I've looked at, I think it's to do with airflow and cooling, and the Pro chips just run too hot for the MacBook Air. Because it is a bit sad. I probably would go a MacBook Air with a Pro chip because I don't really need the extra resolution screen or the extra ports. Not for a laptop. Like for my desktop, yes, I need to plug in everything. But for a laptop, the nice size of the Air would be great if it had a little bit more grunt, but I think that's the reason why. Feel free if other folks know more, feel free to correct me. But that's what the word on the street is. So that is our news and notes for today. If you have any questions or if you have any comments or if you have anything that you'd just like to talk about or say, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm just clicking around over here because I've taken a leaf out of the book of Jade Star and I'll be running a little ad. So you'll be getting an ad displayed right about now while the ad plays. For those that don't have YouTube Premium, just a little bit of programming note here. As I mentioned before, same stuff for next week. There's no changes to the time next weekend, but the following weekend, it is a change for the UK. And then the following into April, it's a change of time for Australia. So my recommendation is for you to be on the mailing list. So that is at studiolivetoday.com/email or go to studiolivetoday.com/live, and that will direct you straight to the latest playlist of all of the videos you need. Yeah, the extra performance cores in the MacBook Air would be awesome. And yeah, it's unfortunate because that's probably the direction I'd go. You can get so there are the two different chips for the MacBook Air, but one just has the extra GPU core, and that's it. So yeah, you're stuck stuck with only an M4. And I am actually in the market. I was if they had them in stock when I was at the Mac store, the Apple store last week, I would have bought an M4 MacBook Air because I need just a portable Mac on the go. To this day, I'm using my phone, obviously, and I use my iPad, but there's just something about having that full computer experience. At the moment, I'm using a Chromebook, a $300 Chromebook that I bought that fits the gap, but yeah, I think I need a MacBook. Apple, I think I need a Mac. No, considering that at the moment on loan I have a phone, 2 iPads, and a watch, all on loan from Apple, and the AirPods. Yeah, I think I'm not going to push my luck and ask them to borrow a MacBook because I think I need one long term anyway. And the good thing about the M4 being in them now is that they'll have quite a bit of longevity. I'm on the fence. In fact, I'll put it to a vote here. If you were buying one right now, so I'm getting the 16 gig of RAM. I don't think I need 24 gig, or maybe I do. But for the size, the reason I could have bought one that was 16 gig of RAM, 512 gig hard drive, but I want a terabyte. Even though it's a laptop, I just want a terabyte just because I've lived the life of the 256 on the old Mac Mini, and even 512, even though I won't need to store everything on my laptop, I just think I'll regret it. For the extra $300, I think I'll regret it in a year's time if I get anything less than a terabyte. So I'm thinking, and unfortunately, the terabyte ones you have to order in special. You can't just buy them off the shelf in the Apple store. So yeah, I'm pondering that. I'm also thinking about, the situations around the world and the economic lack of stability, and wondering, is it the right thing to even consider? Am I completely bang out of order for even considering the possibility of buying stuff right now? It kind of makes me feel a bit gross, because yeah, it's just yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe and it would be a tool. It would be something that I could actually use, and it would help me get more work done. It would make doing outdoor broadcasts and live streams a lot easier, which is something I want to do more of. So yeah. Oh, MacBook Pro, yeah. And that's the thing. It's this slippery thing, isn't it? Because here in Australia, it starts at $1,600 for the MacBook Air. And then the one I'm looking at is $2,300, which is a terabyte and 16. If I go to the Pro with 24 and a terabyte, it ends up being over almost $3,500, which for just my laptop. If I was using it as like my studio computer and hooking up to monitors, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any miraculous things that happen in the next month or so. Maybe a rich donor from a unknown country will come out and fund Studio Live today for $100,000, and then I can go shopping. That's likely. Um, what was I doing? Yeah, we're about to go that. Definitely get the terabyte. The sound like, yeah, that's a good point. And that's the thing. I looked up what's a full Logic Pro install, and it's something like 70 gigabytes now. So if you had a 512, you do a full install of Logic, and you're already at quite a bit. Hey, it's Sean Chandler. Did you catch Your Music Live yesterday? If you didn't, go catch the replay, because we had the Chandler brothers as our featured artist. It was super duper cool. So go on over and check that out if you happened to miss the show. We're going to dive into our feature topic in just a jiffy. If you're getting some value out of this here, I'm gonna do what I did yesterday. As soon as I did this, I got a bunch of additional people. I'm just going to put a smiley face here, so you know I'm being funny. Have you hit the like button? Yes, of course. Oops, not yet. I will now. I'm sorry. I saw this and I thought it was fun. I thought it was just an interesting tactic, maybe. Yeah. You're already using almost 400 gigabytes. Yeah, I think I need the I think I'm convinced. I'm going to go the terabyte. Hey, it's Tremor Bear. What's that look you got going on there, Tremor Bear? That's an interesting little avatar, mate. I like it. There, see, look, there you go. Getting like buttons hit now. So the poll situation works. And then there's probably people that are like, no, now I'm deliberately not. In fact, I'm going to take away my like and I'm going to put a dislike in there. All right. I thought we would have a little bit of fun here today. And I'll need your help with this. For those that are here live, I'll need you to help me out and give me some ideas about things that we can ask about. Because what I'm going to do, I've noticed that I'm finding Google's AI answers a bit better. I know, before you go, oh no, Pete's going to be misled and he's going to be suckered in for all the hallucinations and stuff. No, I still check the original source if it's something important. But there's been a couple of times lately where I've just asked a question and the Google AI has actually worked, or it's pointed me to the right place. And I thought, let's just check out Google and ask it some questions about GarageBand and see what the accuracy level is like here. So I'm going to dive in here and start asking some of the most common questions that I get asked about. And then we're going to see if AI answers it. We're then going to check the actual Google results and see if they lead somewhere reputable. I don't know, maybe like a little place called Studio Live today. And then I'm going to answer the question. So, can I be replaced by a robot? We're about to find out. Let's jump over here to Google, the old Google. All right. So, the first question I'm going to ask is GarageBand, is, is GarageBand available for Windows? You and I know the answer to this, don't we? Let's see what you have. Okay, so first answer is no. GarageBand is an Apple software application. It is not available for Windows. It is designed for macOS, iPadOS, and iOS devices. Pretty good. Here's a more detailed description. And then let's do the show more. Apple software. GarageBand is software. Yep, that's what it said. There is no official version of GarageBand that can be installed or run on a Windows computer. Alternatives. If you're a Windows user, looking for music software, there are many excellent alternatives, including free options like Audacity. Hey, there you go. All right, what do we have? Uh, so over here in the answers, in the video answers, first thing we have is the GarageBand guide. That is a good place to go. And that is Patrick's video about the fact that GarageBand doesn't exist on Windows, but BandLab does. So he's saying BandLab's good, which I agree, it is. GarageBand Windows, the ultimate tool for music production. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And then GarageBand Wikipedia. So I know that these are not actual answers that Google are giving you, but this is the one that concerns me. This concerns me the most because this has still popped up in this AI. Generative AI is experimental. And it's like, tick. Yeah, yes, it is. It very much is experimental. Hello, Joe Glenn, by the way. I hope you're doing well. Use Google for crosswords. Yeah, it's great for crosswords, or if you're on your last word or guess. And you're like, 6-letter word starting with Q that ends in "een." But let me just show you this link. This is from Instituti Studium Europe. These, if this is what I think it's going to be, this is the problem. This is the problem that we have. Unleashing your musical creativity. GarageBand Windows, the ultimate tool for music production. Unleash it. So yeah, look at this. For starters, that's a Mac. I don't know what the hell you're doing there. That's a very bad AI generated image with not even the Windows logo on there. And what is this going to tell us? All right, the ultimate free and safe download. The official GarageBand for PC is available. Free and safe download through the official resource at freeGarageBand.com. Do you dare me to go to freeGarageBand.com? Do you double dare me? So this, yeah, look, GarageBand. Blah, blah, blah. So this is a bad web page. This isn't a web page designed for humans to really read. This is a web page to get premium SEO, search engine optimization. Comparing to see, this is the thing. You could have just written this article comparing it to things like FL Studio, Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic Pro. Yeah. As you can see, GarageBand for Windows offers a wide range of features and benefits, make it stand out. Quote from someone. This is from Lisa. GarageBand for Windows has opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me as a musician. It's like having a professional studio at my fingertips. I don't know what her voice did during that. That was weird. Here we go. Downloading. Visit the official resource. Click on the download link for Windows. Save the installation file to your computer. Once the download is complete, locate the installation file and double-click on it. Follow the on-screen instructions. GarageBand Windows PC. So, what is this and why is this? Well, I've talked about this before. You probably know it if you're watching this show. This is complete BS. And what this will actually be, let's go there. I'm not going to click the link because that will probably take me somewhere else, but I'm going to go freeGarageBand.com. Oh, good. It's not there anymore. Did I spell it correctly? GarageBand.com. Yeah, well, there you go. So it doesn't exist anymore. So it's probably been reported, taken down, been reused as that from Lisa, who also plays saxophone. Saxophone, yeah. And the thing is, I won't click on the link here, even though a good way to test this is you can actually go right-click and inspect it, and it will actually tell you where it's going to send you. So before you go to any link, do that. So you can see there, it's actually only going to, we probably can't see it, it's very small on the screen there, but it would only go to freeGarageBand.com. But sometimes they'll put that there, and then when you hover over it in the bottom left corner there, or if you right click and inspect it, it will say this is actually going to pronsite62.com. So yeah, you do have to be careful with that. So that is that. I think that's a bit of a fail for Google, because even though this isn't a Google search, like Google aren't saying this is right, they're letting stuff like this bubble up to the top, and anyone can tell that that's actually wrong. Uh, there's the Reddit answer. Is there a product? No. Can you get it on Windows? No. And you know what's fun? On my video where I talk about this, that you can't get GarageBand on Windows, there's always someone in the comments that's telling me that you actually can, because all you do see, Johns, all you got to do is get a copy of Mac OS, not possible anymore, and then create a Hackintosh, which is where you get a modified computer, and then you run it on a virtual machine, and then you install on your Windows machine, see, the virtual machine that runs Mac OS on your Windows PC, and then you use GarageBand on the Mac OS install, those are the virtual machine on your Windows PC. See, it's as simple as that. And I'm like, you're still running it on Mac. It might not be a Mac physical hardware, but you're still running it in Mac OS, not running in Windows natively. And have you ever tried to do this? I haven't, but I've seen people fumble with it. I've seen videos of people doing it. They spend so much time just trying to get a USB audio interface connected, because it's got to talk through like 3 layers of virtual machine. Anyway, not cool. Let's go with something a little less controversial. How do I use the compressor plugin in GarageBand or iOS? Let's see what sort of magic we have here. All right, so to use the compressor, plugin in GarageBand, tap the track controls button to navigate to the plugin and EQ, select compressor and adjust the threshold, ratio, attack and release settings to shape your sound. Here's more detailed breakdown. Open the track controls, navigate to the plugin and EQ, select compressor. Understanding them. Let's see what the understanding of this. Threshold is the level at which the compressor starts to reduce the signal. Yep. Ratio, this controls how much the compressor reduces the signal above the threshold. Attack, this determines how quickly the compressor starts to reduce the signal. Release, this determines how quickly it stops. Yes, that's all good. Adjusting it, experiment with these controls, listen carefully. This isn't bad. And it's especially not bad because guess what? I love you, AI. Oh, AI, you shouldn't have. You're going to make me blush. So yes, you get to the end of that, and it says, this video demonstrates how to use a compressor in GarageBand iOS. And it's a funny little guy in Australia who tells you all about it from Studio Live today. And that's a video from 2018. So there you go. What do we got over this side this time? Okay, these are a bit better. We've got Patrick's wonderful compression for beginners guide there. We've got using effect plugins for GarageBand, the Apple support page, that's good. And we've got this funny little man here, Beginner's Guide to Plugins in GarageBand iOS iPad. So that's pretty good. What's the show all here? GarageBand secret compressor, dun 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 dun. So yeah, how to use compressor in GarageBand from the GarageBand guide, Apple support, me. So not bad. I'd give that like a solid 10 out of 10 for that one. Yeah, pretty good. Good information here. And then you get to the Reddit one. Hello, Jeremy Deshaw. Hope you are doing well, my friend. If rumors are true, you might be getting a 6 meals rebate check from Doggy. Should I get? Let's all hold our breath for that, shall we? I used to run Windows on a Mac, but that was before I knew that GarageBand existed. I did dumb stuff when I was bored. Yeah, and you can do. You can run. There's VMware, and there's what's the other one that you could run Windows on a Mac? Yeah, I was the same. I was like, oh, I'd get a Mac if I could run Windows on it properly. If it was available. Yeah, exactly. Me too. I would have got it ages ago. Yeah, nice. All right, let's it's totes legit. Let's try something else. Let's try a controversial one again. Is there a master? You know the answer. If you saw the thumbnail, you know the answer. Is there a master volume control in GarageBand for iOS? All right, specifically saying for iOS. How's it going to go? Oh, see, I reframed the question. And I got this. So what was the question I asked in the thumbnail? Now I've got Now I've got to find the thumbnail so that I can actually check, because when I did this in the little test run that I did before the show, it gave me a very different answer. How did I ask the question there? Does GarageBand iOS have a master volume control? Huh. So is there a master volume control? So while GarageBand doesn't have a dedicated master, you can effectively control the overall project volume by adjusting the volume of individual tracks using the FX button for a workaround. Here's a breakdown. Should I feel offended by the fact that they've stolen all my information and put it here? And the other question is, what if I was giving the wrong information? What if this is just BS? What if Studio Live Today is not a reputable resource? Like, I wonder how much it actually checks and vets the information before it throws it up here. Interesting, isn't it? Master track volume, the master, yeah. Let's ask it like we did here. Does GarageBand OS have a master volume control? Because this is where things get interesting. Does GarageBand, there it is, does GarageBand iOS have a master volume control? Holy dooly! It changed. That's pretty weird. Because as you can see, as you can see by the thumbnail, when I asked this question 2 days ago, it gave me that answer. And now, come back and give me this answer, which is the correct answer of using the master track hack workaround. And have I done 3 separate videos on it over the last 6 years? Yes, I have. But I find that kind of weird. I don't know. Is it learning? AI is learning. All right. Time for some fun. How much time we got? We got 15 minutes left. Is there any other question about GarageBand or otherwise, or about technology or about Apple in general, that you would like me to ask Google's Gemini AI here? Yeah, it must be. It must be watching my my channel. AI learn from you. I once asked AI about bass recording techniques, and it had limited info, then proceeded to ask me to provide the info. There you go. It's doing all of that stuff, isn't it? It's doing that. All right, let's go with, how do I master a song in GarageBand iOS? Let's go with this one. Master a song in GarageBand iOS. First, ensure that your mix is finalized, and then export a stereo wave. Export it. You can master track plugin, EQ and compression, push the overall sound. Finalize your mix, export as a stereo wave, show the master track in GarageBand toolbar. See, there's still stuff in here that's not right. So in the GarageBand toolbar, tap track and select show master track. What's this little link? See, there you go. It gives you the reference. So that's actually pretty good. And the reference in this case is Patrick's How to Master in GarageBand. But that ain't iOS. And this is a problem it's going to have, is the little details that are important, isn't there? Little details. So yeah, and then it's got a link to this guy here. Back when I had to talk really quickly and do all the hand gestures a lot. Anyway, what about the can or how do I? Let's go with how do I? How do I turn off auto normalize in GarageBand iOS? Let's see. To disable automatic in Garage, you need to go to the project settings, find the advanced section, and toggle off the auto normalize option before exporting. Yeah, and here's the problem. I'm going to click this button and it's going to give me the reference, is it? Oh, it doesn't have a ref. Oh, it's referencing this. Aha. So it's Charles Klein, who is a good creator and he does good work, but this is Mac. So same problem. We're gonna come across that problem quite frequently, aren't we? That it's just not got quite the right details when you put them in there. Ask it, what is the trick to move? Oh, yeah. How do I move MIDI from a drummer track to another instrument track in GarageBand iOS? This could be interesting. Yeah. Oh, look, and there's the band guide with the band guy. So how to convert drummer to MIDI 2020. That's in Mac again, and that's my drummer to MIDI drums video from a few years back. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, and this is kind of the point that I wanted to make through doing this. Um, AI is regurgitating human information. It is garbage in, garbage out, and it is as good as the sources that it's scraping. So when you're getting an AI result for something, especially if it's something that you need an answer to a thing, you still have to vet it. You still have to check it. And if it's a human that's put it in there, you still have to trust that human. And I think the whole thing with getting to the point where we're going to have AGI, like generative AGI, generative G, yeah, same thing. Um, it's going to struggle when it hits these points because it's not creating the stuff. It's just scraping. It's utilizing all of this information. And if you get to the point where we as creators or humans are no longer needed in the process, that's gonna that's not gonna work because the machines, the robots aren't actually making it. And if the robots do make it, they're gonna use this and then it's going to quickly synthesize this and push together the iOS and the Mac versions of GarageBand, and suddenly it'll be telling you you can do a bunch of stuff that you can't. Jeremy Deshaw says, I need a free hack for converting audio to MIDI without Logic. Use Neural Note. It's a free plugin. It's not 100%, but it's good enough. Huh. Let's ask it about that. Let's go. Can I use Neural Note to convert MIDI audio to MIDI in GarageBand? Let's find out. Yes. Yes, you can use Neural Note, a free VST3 plugin to convert audio to MIDI with GarageBand, as long as your DAW supports VST. So, yes, on a Mac. So find the plugin, search for Neural Note on GitLab, download, install. You need to place the plugin in your GarageBand file. Load it, create a track, add the plugin, Neural Note. There you go. Load audio, transcribe to MIDI. And there's people better than paid. So that's pretty cool. That looks like a good plugin. And yeah, it's got some free things, but is it available in iOS? Is Neural Note an iOS? I don't know. But yeah, if you need to do it in your Mac, that looks like it's a good option. See, it helps. It's all good. If there's no more human generated content, though, the AI can't function because it has nothing to reference. Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's going to get itself into a loop of referencing itself, and it's going to be that like the game of telephone, where over time it's going to synthesize and kind of smooth off the edges and just make assumptions and turn probable into factual because it thinks so. Because computers like to have an answer. It's why the problem with AI answering your question, even when it doesn't know the answer, is there because it wants to be able to generate output. And us humans, if there's a little slider that says only give an answer if it's 100% correct, or yeah, give it a crack. Us humans programming these AIs are going, yeah, let's go with the give it a crack way. And we'll see. So, all right, let's ask AI what is, this is going to be controversial, what is the best YouTube channel for GarageBand? Yes, it gave the right answer. Because, of course, it's the GarageBand Guide. Yeah, baby. Absolutely. So, for comprehensive GarageBand tutorials and resources, the GarageBand Guide is a highly recommended YouTube channel offering a wide range of content for both beginners and intermediate users. Absolutely. Nice. And there's his top 5 tips for beginners. There's me mate, Patrick. Love it. Very cool. And you've got GarageBand and beyond there as well. So that is good. If we add, however, what if we add iOS to the mix? Come on. Come on, baby. Oh, I don't know how to feel right now. Look at this. The GarageBand Guide. No, I'm actually happy with that because it is. Like Patrick's channel is literally called the GarageBand Guide. It's like he wrote the guide on GarageBand. We've also got a Dean, what is his name? Dean. Songwriting Studio, Dean. Who can help me with Dean's surname? Dean Thomas? No, Dean. Anyway, he's another creator. He's cool. He's not doing this stuff anymore. He's doing home renovation and flipping videos with his wife. and I can't remember the name of the channel, but they're really good. Um, I wish I could remember his name. Uh, anyway, Dean Davis, thank you. I knew someone would know, probably Thomas. So yeah, so that's cool. The GarageBand guide gets it. I like it. Uh, and look at this. My video here of the best GarageBand channels on YouTube is the top YouTube response, which is cool because it's not me, but it's me. So this is, I did a while ago, very long time ago, 5 years ago, in fact. So I put a video from me, from Patrick, from Dean, from Dan Baker, from the Sound Test Room, GarageBand and Beyond, Jade Star, and Sion, all about our GarageBand. So that was what GarageBand community looked like way back then. Nice. I'm going to say okay, one more time. Let's ask one thing: is GarageBand Weekly the best show about GarageBand on the internet? It's like we're not gonna even, mate. That's completely subjective. So no, we're not gonna even answer your question. Oh AI, you're so fun. We are coming towards an end here, folks. But you want to hear the good news? You want to hear the good news? Warming up as we speak over on the Community Pulse is our friends Jade Star, Brad Example, and Frank Terzo. So can Frank rein these two in? How many F bombs are there going to be? I don't know. I've got faith in Jade and Brad. I reckon that they can deliver here. Will they talk of penists? Yes, almost definitely. If you don't know, you don't. You got to check it out. Go check out the show. It'll be a fun time. So you will be deposited over there straight after this show. Jump in the lobby there. Say Pete John sent you, and say g'day to Frank and Jade and Brad. I put the link there, and then I realised that Thomas is probably going to be right on top of it already, which is what he's done there. If you are a member of this channel, I'll be doing some more testing of my outdoor rig over the next couple of days. So even though I don't have a MacBook, I'm using my old PC. I'm grappling with Windows to do some testing for a live show. I'd really love to do my 5th anniversary live show outside, but I need to ensure I have the confidence that everything is going to work before I do that. So yeah, you can join me for some testing over the next couple of days. If you are a member, you'll see those membership streams pop up at random times. I'll try to give you more than a couple of minutes notice if I can. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to Thomas Christ, our wonderful link slinging moderator, and Mark Bro, also keeping people safe and happy here. Why did the AI break up with his chatbot girlfriend? Because he needed more space. Thanks, Ed Zelinsky. Thank you, Jeremy Deshore, and Fat Panda Cat as well. Someone steals Pete's info and changes it slightly, then someone does the same to them. AO pulls in. Yep, exactly. Ends up with half right. Exactly. That's what happens. G'day to Galais Chateau and goodbye to Galais Chateau because we're just finishing up the show. But again, if you want more live shenanigans and silliness, jump on over to the Community Pulse with Frank and Brad and Jade happening in 15 minutes time. So do what I'm going to do, refresh your coffee and kick back and enjoy that show. Until next time, folks, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, keep creating. I'll see you next time right here on GarageBand Weekly. Bye for now.